and welcome back to tonight's broadcast of Hot News. My name is Holly Kuklenski, and we have some great stories here for you tonight. First off, we have some breaking news that came into the studio earlier this afternoon. Longtime leader and dictator of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the USSR, Joseph Stalin, has died.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time.
Yesterday, March 5th, in the year 1953, at 9:50 p.m., the leader succumbed to a stroke at the age of 74 in his personal residence in Moscow, Russia, and the news was released to the Russian people around 8 hours later. To many, Stalin's death comes as a great shock, yet a great source of happiness. The dictator, by some estimates, was responsible for the deaths of around 20 million people during the period of his brutal rule. Under Stalin, the Soviet Union was transformed from a peasant society into an industrial and military superpower. However, as I stated previously, he ruled by terror, and millions of his own citizens died during his horrific reign. Starting in the late 1920s, Joseph Stalin launched a series of 5-year plans intended to transform the Soviet Union from a peasant society into an industrial superpower. His development plan was centered on government control of the economy and included the forced collectivization of Soviet agriculture, in which the government took control of farms. Millions of farmers refused to cooperate with Stalin's orders and were shot or exiled as punishment. The forced collectivization also led to widespread famine across the Soviet Union that killed millions. Stalin ruled by terror and with a totalitarian grip in order to eliminate anyone who might oppose him. He expanded the powers of the secret police, encouraged citizens to spy on one another, and had millions of people killed or sent to the Gulag system of forced labor camps. During the second half of the 1930s, Stalin instituted the Great Purge, a series of campaigns designed to rid the Communist Party, the military, and other parts of Soviet society from those he considered a threat. Additionally, Stalin built a cult of personality around himself in the Soviet Union. Cities were renamed in his honor. Soviet history books were rewritten to give him a more prominent role in the revolution and mythologize other aspects of his life. He was also the subject of flattering artwork, literature, and music, and his name became part of the Soviet national anthem. His government also held total control over the Soviet media. Most importantly, Stalin's death ended the risk of yet another world war, since Stalin was actively preparing and trying to trigger a full-scale war with the United States and NATO in the mid-1950s, before the West's technology got too far ahead of Russia's. Any leader who succeeds Stalin is likely to be more rational and pursue peace by other means than direct war. That being said, the whole world should be able to breathe easier tonight. And even though the amount of fear is still considerable, the unpredictable monster is no longer driving every country's foreign and domestic policies, either with or against Stalin. And we in the United States can hopefully expect to see some of these tensions ease and have a peaceful coexistence with the Soviet Union in a short amount of time. Now that's the basic gist of the story today, but let me tell you, we in the studio are very happy about this news. Now after this short break, one of our best reporters, Wyatt Gardner, will be out on the scene to give some more breaking news regarding the future of the USSR. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Out here in the streets, you can tell there's excitement in the air. Stalin is dead, and people are happy. Well, at least Americans are anyways. With the passing of the former USSR leader Joseph Stalin, there's a big role to be filled in the USSR Communist Party. Stalin never left one specific person as a successor before his passing. But as of right now, it looks like Nikita Khrushchev will be the new leader of the USSR. Khrushchev worked as a mine mechanic before joining the Communist Party in 1918. After he joined the Communist Party later in his career, he moved to Moscow and steadily rose up the ranks. Eventually, he made the rank of First Secretary in 1938, which is the highest rank next to Joseph Stalin as General Secretary. As his career panned out, he steadily grew closer and closer to Joseph Stalin. Okay. Although he was close to Stalin, he didn't agree with his way of ruling. When he was made leader of the USSR, he got rid of Stalin's totalitarian policies. Shortly after this, there were many political prisoners that were released. They were locked up because Stalin during the Great Purge. At this point in time, there was a great upburst of euphoria, and there was also a new feeling of freedom in the USSR, which many people are experiencing for the first time. Nikita Khrushchev is going to start his process of de-Stalinization, which will get rid of many organizations that are unnecessary or cruel that were created by Joseph Stalin to help keep him in power. It will water down the Gulag system, allowing prisoners to send letters to their families and receive clothes from their families as well, which the prisoners have not been able to do before. The de-Stalinization will get rid of forced labor and it will free most of the Gulag prisoners, and eventually it will be shut down. Cities named after Stalin will also be renamed, such as Stalingrad will be renamed to Volgograd. It will also destroy thousands of monuments that were dedicated to Stalin. It will get rid of statues and monuments in both the USSR and also in other communist countries. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Hot News. Tune in tomorrow night for our half-hour segment on Twinkies, America's favorite treat, but could they give you a disease? Find out tomorrow at 7. Have a safe and enjoyable evening, folks.